I want to talk about a simple, inexpensive way to change the water and simplify upkeeping multiple aquariums. So for our water fills, we got a hold of an inexpensive fountain pump. We put it in the bottom of a 5 or 10 gallon buckets, we have both, and it really speeds up the process of adding water. You can adjust the flow rate on many of these pumps, and it just really speeds up that process. Of course, there's also draining water, and we use a different process for that. So one of the other things that really helps with my water changes is buying one of these things. And this is a fluid transfer pump. They're made by several different companies, and they run anywhere from $8 to $15 for something like this, which is a little cheaper than some of the battery-powered aquarium vacuums. So you can see this one, whichever one you buy, I think it's important to buy one from a store with a no return policy. So I've bought them from different hardware stores and also from Harbor Freight. And one of the things I recall with Harbor Freight is there's a no return policy, because people could use these for harmful chemicals, things like gasoline or different chemicals that would be harmful. That being said, I still wash them carefully and I kind of soak it in some aquarium water. I'm usually using this for removing dirty water versus adding clean water, but it can be used for both. And there's some modifications I would advise that you make to this. So I don't have my my actual tip that I use on this, but you can see you got to be very, very careful with this. So what I've done is I bought a piece of PVC tubing, and my cap fell off, so I just temporarily used some of this sort of netting material, this poly netting material, over the tip to kind of prevent it from sucking up any fish. And it put it on, and it fits, fairly snug there. So you can see that there's a gap between the impeller and the sort of mesh area there, and that protects most of the fish in the aquarium if they manage to get a little too close. You can have some accidents there, so you definitely want to add that. One of the other things that I've added is a little bit longer piece of pipe, and I've heated up the PVC and pinched it so that it forms more of a flat sort of a spade head type tip that I can utilize with this. On the other end, added some tubing to this because the tubing that it comes with is relatively short. So I have hardware store tubing, and I put this end on, and then I've used a clip here to clip it to the side of a 10 gallon container like this, or a 5 gallon bucket, so that it doesn't slip out. A lot of cursing can be heard whenever one of the tubes kind of comes out of one of these things when you're working. The other thing about this system is it's reversible, so I use it for watering. I don't see any, the water that we have here, is quite valuable. So I reverse it, and then I can use this to water plants in the garden. Potted plants and whatnot too. So it's a nice system. It moves about, I want to say, 2 to 3 gallons a minute, so it's not a super fast rate, but it's a pretty good rate for moving the water, and that speeds things up. It helps with water changes immensely.